fiddling with my phone is being weird today, but welcome to core class. If you have weights, we're gonna add weights. These are always optional to all my classes, weights, mini bands. I got a little teeny kettlebell here. Up to you, grab one if you got it. My name is Dara. I am a physical therapist and a strength coach and a yogi, 200-hour certified and all those other things. So this class has a little bit of abs and glutes and just some core strength for mostly my endurance athletes. 30 minutes, let's get it going. I like to start off with yoga, just to start off with a little mobility, just get things warmed up. So we'll go through a little bit of a sun salutation, a yoga sequence, take it down onto the mat for some core. Pretty advanced, but I'll show some options to modify as needed. Again, listen to your body. I am a PT first, modify for you. This class is for you. So listen to your body, modify as needed. Let's start off with Sun Sal A. So this is just a nice warm up. Inhale, reach to the sky. And every class I do, it's about 30 minutes and we add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, different core exercises. So subscribe to the channel to check out all my other classes or core class playlist or the core strength playlist. Exhale, forward fold. I got all sorts of workouts for you guys. Hang out here, knees are nice and soft. Just let your arms relax. Shake out any stress, any tension. This should feel nice on your lower back. Knees are nice and soft. Hang out here for one breath. We're gonna go through this sequence 3 times and then we're gonna move on. On your next inhale, halfway lift, flat back position. Straighten out the knees, get a nice stretch in your hammies. If you're like me, you got tight hamstrings. Again, yoga is for everyone. If you're not flexible, well, great. Then neither am I. That's why we're doing it, right? Keep your hands down, press back into plank. First plank of the day. We have some planks, not too many, so let's take advantage. Strengthen our shoulders and our core. Hold it here, tuck the chin in one breath. Knees down, slowly lower, chaturanga. Nice and mellow first round. I like to just kind of ease into it, right? Push yourself up into a little baby cobra. So we're just coming up just a little bit. Pull the shoulder blades down your back. This should feel nice, not pinchy in the lower back. So really engage your lats. It's gonna help to stabilize your lower back. Hold it here, one breath. Exhale back down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet out, drive that booty up high to the sky. Nice flat upper back. Pedal those feet. I love this sequence because it gets a little bit of calf and ankle mobility here. A little bit of hips, openers, spine, shoulders. This is a great sequence you could use as your own warm up or cool down or just to get things moving. Last breath here. We're gonna go through that sequence again. Walk your hands back to your feet. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head coming up last. Articulate through your spine. Inhale, reach to the sky. A healthy spine is supple. Get all those joints, vertebrae moving. Exhale here. Hold it here. Knees are nice and soft. One breath. Halfway lift, flat back. Hip hinge. We're going to do more of this coming up next. This is our deadlift. Hip hinge position. Hands come down, step back into plank. So if you have your weights, we're gonna add a little bit of a single leg deadlift or warrior 3 if you want. Work on our balance and our glutes. Belly in, tuck the chin in. Either knees down or all the way down, chaturanga, slow, controlled. Strength in the shoulders. We need upper body strength as well as lower. Push yourself up into cobra or up dog if this feels good. For me, this is a nice extension stretch into the spine. This should just feel really nice on your back, right? Maybe rotate side to side. Oh, my back just cracked. Oh, it felt so great. I love this up dog or cobra, right? Again, this should just feel really nice. Exhale back down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog. Drive the hips up high to the sky, pushing away from the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Use your hands to create that nice stability. Pedal the feet out. We've got one more round, then we're moving on. Got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. Last breath here. Walk your hands back to your feet. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Last time, you guys. Then we're coming into warrior 3. Reach to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Let it out. Let all that stress out. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back, hip hinge. Hands come down, plank. Strong plank. Meet me here, one breath, and then either lower with the knees or all the way down. Work your shoulders. Up dog or cobra. Press the shoulders down the back, open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. This should feel great. Roll yourself down. Last time, downward dog. Let's hang out in downward dog for a second. I'm gonna add on a little bit of spicy oblique work here, if you want. So if you wanna hang out in downward dog, you can. And if you're like, hey, I'm ready, let's do some core, let's get this party started. You can come into plank and then rock back. And if you really are antsy to get some core work started, although all of this is core, reach back to that opposite shin. Exhale as you reach back, twist, obliques, reach through and back. Now you can also just hang out in downward dog. You can also just hang out in child's pose if you're like, I'm over this, I need a break. I always try to get in as much of this upper body strengthening as we can, especially for my runners and my cyclists. You guys never do enough upper body work, myself included. That's why I'm doing it here. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. Walk your hands back to your feet, come into standing. So single leg deadlift, if you have a weight, you can add it now. You don't need a weight because this is challenging enough. However, if you want to, focus on your hip hinge first. So whether or not you have the weights hinging at the hip, my standing leg is soft. I'm not straight-legged. And then I'm coming back up. Now an RDL is a Romanian deadlift, and that's gonna finish at mid-shin. So if you do have the weights, I'm stopping here. If you're like, hey, listen, this is just hard enough with no weights, that's okay too. I want you to engage your right glute. I want you to keep your hips square. Don't rotate that hip out. If you are a tight-hipped person, it's gonna be hard to keep the hips squared to the ground. So you gotta stop when you need to stop. So if you're starting to twist your body out, you're done. Right? So not everybody has a lot of great hip mobility. So this is a nice move because it works on our foot, our arch, our core. Brace your abs here, your balance, posterior chain. So you add that weight to that single leg, RDL, and it can be in the same hand. I prefer opposing hand just to give me a little bit of stability. And this is my single leg RDL. This is warrior 3. If you don't have weights and you're like, hey, I just want to work on my balance and really keep it to warrior 3, your extended pose is going to be here, right? So again, hip hinge, really important move. A lot of times in my class, I do a lot of chair pose, which is squat. We're just going to do 2 more here, by the way. So you want your squat and your hinge. This is different than our squats, right? This is hinging back at the hip, a little bit more posterior, booty, hamstrings, and back. Other side, shake that leg out. Ooh. It's a challenging pose. You do not need the weights for this move. Many people, man, just getting that balance on that leg without the weight is challenge enough. I have athletes who just do single leg RDLs, which is this, with no weight as their warm-up for their lifting days, or they just do this as their core work and just working on their hip mobility and being able to just dissociate your hip from your spine. Right, this is quite challenging. Or I have people who just need to work on their foot and arch strength, rehabbing their foot. This is a great exercise. Again, my abs are engaged. My hips are trying to stay relatively squared, so I'm not pulling that hip out. I'm here, focusing on a point to control with my balance. Right, a lot of things happening here. I'm really trying to engage that left glute, active booty, right, on my standing leg. And I'm going slow. This is not about speed. This is about really honing in on that perfect form. Let's do 2 more here. Then we're gonna come down onto the mat. We'll do a little bit of mobility. Before we get into our core series, it is advanced. I will show options. Drop the weight. Done with that. Let's come down onto the mat. Let's just do a little bit of thread the needle. So thread the needle, just a nice upper back, spine, rotational movement here. Hands and knees. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, reach it through. One of my faves. Anytime we get some nice rotation, this is really great to work on that spine health, but also shoulders, right? Getting that whole mid-back to open up. This should feel good, right? You can always modify it. You don't need to go all the way out if that's not comfortable. Inhale, reach. Exhale it through. Let's do a few more. And then we'll switch sides. And then we have some core, a series of 3. So all my classes have 3 moves, 3 rounds. And then I will save time for some lower back strength because we didn't do that last time. So we have a challenging flutter sequence with our hollow body hold. Let's switch sides. And through. We're going to start off with our Russian twist. So if you have your weights, you can add the weights into that Russian seated twist. And then lower abdominals, a little bit more booty. We're going to finish with some fire hydrants. So we've got a little bit of round robin here, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Starting with our seated obliques, twist, lower abdominals, hollow holds, and then glutes. A little bit of everything. Last one here. All right, seated Russian twist. Again, if you have the weights, you can use them. You don't need them. Up to you, sitting up nice and tall. Maintaining this position first, so I like to set myself up here, hold, lean back. That's how I set up, right? That's how I coach to make sure that you're not turning into this person, and then you're like, oh, my back hurts, right? This should never hurt your back, right? So this seated Russian twist, we're gonna start now. Seated Russian twist is actually pretty hard for a lot of people, right? Because you have nothing to stabilize your lower back. So it seems like an easy oblique exercise, but really it requires finding those little sit bones and finding that little sweet spot where you're just kind of sitting your butt and you're right in that nice position. We've got that level pelvis, relatively neutral spine, although I usually tell people flat back because that really resonates more with people. Now, if you're like, oh, I want to make this harder, lift your legs up, right? Again, I like to keep my feet down because for me, I really want to focus on that rotation, really getting that all the way around. And a lot of times when I'm up here, I'm so focused on my balance that I kind of lose a little bit of the oblique work. So that's just me, right? There's different variations to it. You can have the legs elevated. And if you don't have a weight, or you want to grab a water bottle, that would also work. Or if you're like, no, I just want to work more on my balancing and a little bit less on just that oblique engagement, then have the feet up. So we've got this first. And then we've got a flutter kick. So we're going to be in the hollow body hold position, and that's an advanced position, right? You really need to keep that lower back pressed down. And I'll walk us through that. That's coming up next. Let's do 10 more here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, done with that. Bad boy. Okay, hollow body hold. Set up in the hollow body hold first. So if you are more of a beginner, you would just be holding here, right? Advanced here, advanced here, extra advanced. Guess what? We're going to kick it out, arms and legs for 10. So you figure out which one you want to do. We're going to do a nice slow 10 count hold and then kick the legs out or just hold it, right? As I exhale, I press my lower back down, glue it down and keep it there the whole time. So get ready, whatever version you're doing, chin is tucked in, lift and kick or hold for 10. For 9, I said this was going to be a slow 10 count. 8, 7, kick, 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 kick. 6, you can also just hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn it over, fire hydrants. Let's go right into it. Hands and knees position. If you can't do fire hydrants, you can do a glute bridge. Knees are hip distance apart, open at the hip. If you want to grab your little mini bands, you could add that into this bad boy. right? Mini bands around the thighs, you're just gonna make that glute work a little bit harder. We're gonna do both sides, nice long sets. I'm keeping my abs braced here, and I'm not moving my whole body. I'm just opening up at the hip. Again, same idea with our hip hinge, really move at the hip, right? Keeping the spine nice and controlled and stable. Burn that booty out. Even with no band, this is a nice glute burner. Again, you can add the mini bands around the thighs to add tension. Last few here. 2, 1, same thing, other side. Brace with your abs. Fingers are nice and wide, giving me a nice stable base of support. Knees are hip distance apart. Burn that booty out. We're gonna come right back into that Russian twist, so get ready. We're not taking breaks. We've got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. This is endurance, core, abs, glutes. Let's keep it going. Here, last few. And then we're back into seated Russian twists. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, grab that weight or whatever. Let's do it. Russian twist, sitting up nice and tall. Rotation. So every class, I'll usually do a little bit of mix and match so that we cover different parts of our core, right? Our core is not just our abs. So again, our glutes, our breath, our diaphragm, lower back, all of that is core, right? Not just abs. And even within abs, we can do some holds, we can do some crunches, we can do some obliques, some rotational work. We've got options, right? Weighted, unweighted, mini bands. Lots of options. Few more here, and then we have those flutter kicks. Again, we've got 3 rounds, so this is round 2. Zooming through this. I want to try to squeeze in a little bit of lower back, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Twist and twist, rotation. Work that rotation. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. On your back, hollow holds or flutter kicks. Figure out which one you want to do. Brace on the exhale. Come up, lower back presses down, kick it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn it over, fire hydrants. How quickly can I get back into that position? Here we go. That quick. We've got 1 round after this. Brace with the abs, hips, right? I'm just opening at the hip, right? I'm really trying to maintain that nice stability and tension in the rest of my body. Right, so pay attention, right? We don't want to be kind of wibbly wobbly like this, right? All of this should translate to your sport, right? So when we're doing these arms and legs movements, can I keep my core and my center really stable? That's what we want to have happen when we're running, sitting on the bike, etc. Nice stable trunk and core. 2 more, other side. Last round of our seated twists. And I'm going to change that flutter kick. I'm going to turn that into just a hold. Just burn it out. So instead of flutter kicks, we'll do a little bit of a hollow body hold as our second move. Last few here. 2 more. All right, last round, Russian twist, not taking a break. Jump back in. Set yourself up. Twist. So we got our twist, we've got our hold, we've got our fire hydrants, and then we're going to flip over for some quick low back. Strength and stretch. Finish with our stretches, then we'll be done. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. You should get notifications of live classes. I host them every week, adding more in the mornings. Many of these will go up as replays under that core class playlist. Finish it off We've got a hollow body. Hold. Next. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Hollow body hold. 30 seconds. Pick whichever version feels good to you. You can be here, here. Get ready. Go. Pressing the lower back down. No space here. Tension in your abs. The lower you go, the harder it is. Press that lower back down. There is 0 space in that lower back crease. 10 seconds. Breathe. Feeling it today. Ooh. Abs are tired. 3, 2, 1. Fire hydrants. Finish up. Flipping over. Let's do it. Should finish right on time. Get a little bit of our stretching in at the end. Call it a day. I usually like to have my athletes and clients do some of these core exercises or this type of a class once or twice a week, right? More is always a good thing, but at least shooting for once or twice a week is ideal for most of my endurance athletes of all ages. 4 more here. 3, 2, 1. Other side. Almost done, guys. Quick little lower back sequence. Had someone ask for a little bit of lower back strength work, so gotta add some of that in. Every class is a little bit different, right? Almost done. 4 more. 2, 1. Sit back into child's pose. Stretch that booty out. We're going to do a little bit of our Supermans and Superwomans, Superhumans to finish off low back. I love this pose. It's prone, face down position. Again, the goal for me with Superhumans is we're thinking about lengthening through the spine. So opposite arm and leg lifts. Hopefully I'm not cut off the picture. Okay, you can see me. Ever so slightly, I'm lifting and I'm reaching, lengthening. So I'm aiming in my mind, I'm trying to extend through my arms and legs to reach the opposite ends of the rooms. So it's not just about arching the lower back, it's really about extension through the spine, length. Engage that whole posterior chain, meaning the back of the shoulders, the arms, the glutes, the lower back, calf, leg. Engage, feel that lift you up off the ground. Tuck the chin in. Nice straight spine. Lengthen. Again, it's okay to have a little bit of an arch in the lower back, but I want you guys to think more about the lengthening and less about the reaching up high. Right? And just activate. Spine needs extension. This is extension. We spend so much of our day flexed that we really need a lot of extension. A healthy spine is supple, meaning it's moving in all directions, right? Not just flexed, hunched forward. So we add a little bit of extension, a little bit of rotation. That is the key to longevity, right? We want strength and to be supple. We need both. Let's do a few more here and then we're going to stretch. A little hip mobility, a little back mobility. And that's it for today. 2 more here. 1 more. And then I want you to lift arms and legs and just hold it. Hold it up for 4. For 3. For 2, activate. And 1, relax. Flip it over onto your back. Let's stretch it out. Any stretches that feel good now is your chance. Again, I am just your guide. Hug those knees into your chest. Rock the knees side to side. Give your lower back a nice little massage. This should just feel nice. Let that left leg extend long on the mat. Roll the ankles and the toes around. I always try to remind all my clients, get those feet healthy, happy feet. Move them around. Get them active, strong, shin, foot, ankle, arch, etc. That is your base of support. Roll the hip around, nice and mellow. Again, if there's any stretches that you want to do now, it's your class, add them in. Modify as needed, depending on what's feeling good to your body, right? Left hand brings that right knee across your body. Bring that right arm out. Find that angle and that position that just feels like a good stretch. So the more you twist off of the mat, the more you're gonna get into that lower back. So if that feels good, and you're like, hey, I wanna be all the way twisted over like that, go for it. If you're like, hey, I just wanna stretch out my glutes a little bit, then you're gonna have your back more flat. And then keep the head relaxed, neck and head, shake it out. Nice and relaxed. Slow down the breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And just enjoy the stretch. Last breath here. Come back to center when you're ready. Figure 4 stretch. Or thread the needle. If you want to just keep it here, that's fine. If you want to reach through, thread the needle. Roll the shoulders. Release any tension. Maybe shake the head out. This should feel like a nice deep hip opener. Modify as needed. You can also do pigeon pose, which is face down. Last few breaths and we'll hit the other side, and then we are done with class. Unwrap that right leg, shake it out, release any tension. Roll the left hip around. Just get into that left hip. And then bring that knee across your body. Left arm reaches out. Head goes wherever it feels comfortable. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Slow down the breath. Really slow down that exhale. Figure 4, left side. And again, any other stretches that feel good, now is your chance. Roll the shoulders, have the neck relaxed. We are almost done with class. We'll finish in seated, and then that is it for today. Take one more breath here. Release any tension. Unwrap that left leg. Windshield wiper the knees side to side, nice and gentle. Hips and lower back stretch, mellow. Side to side. Roll yourself onto your side, coming up into seated. Let's finish up in seated. Sitting however feels comfortable for you. You do not need to sit cross-legged. Let's wrap it up. Inhale, reach. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale it out one more time, and then that is it for today. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you next time. Thank you guys. All right, see you guys next time. That's it.